On September 16th, US President Donald Trump arrived in the United Kingdom. The first day of the visit did not go as planned. There, activists in particular projected a giant image of Trump together with Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted of sexual offenses, onto Windsor Castle. Police have already detained 4 people on suspicion of malicious communications. The American president will be received by King Charles III, and the parties are expected to sign an agreement on cooperation in the fields of artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, and nuclear energy. According to the politician, this is intended not only to emphasize the alliance between the two countries, but also to help King Charles persuade Putin to provide greater support for Ukraine in defending against Russian aggression. The publication notes that Trump has deep respect for and commitment to the royal family. Before departing for his visit to the United Kingdom, Donald Trump spoke with the press. The US president avoided answering a question from a Ukrainian journalist about the delivery of 17 Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine, which had been promised 2 months earlier.
I love Ukraine, I love the Ukrainian people, but your country has serious problems. This should never have happened. This war should never have taken place. Your country has very serious problems, but I will stop this.
At the same time, Trump reacted unexpectedly sharply to a question from an Australian journalist about his business activities.
In my opinion, you are doing great harm to Australia right now. They want to be friends with me. Your leader will be coming to see me soon. I will tell him about you. You have set a very bad tone.
After that, the journalist wanted to ask a question about the agreement with the United Arab Emirates, but Trump advised him to keep quiet. NATO countries are strengthening their defenses. British Typhoon fighter jets are ready to shoot down Russian drones over Poland. According to The Guardian, this was stated by the UK Defence Secretary John Healey. According to him, the fighter jets will carry out air defence missions over Poland to counter aerial threats from Russia, including drone attacks. Measures to destroy UAVs will be taken if there is a threat to the lives of Polish citizens. Healey noted that Typhoon fighter jets may expand their operations into Romanian territory if necessary. He explained that the aircraft are operating as part of patrols over the airspace of NATO's eastern flank, and the decision on their deployment will be made by the alliance. Earlier, on September 11th, Polish Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz stated that the United Kingdom and France plan to send Rafale and Eurofighter fighter jets to Eastern Europe. It should be noted that NATO countries have significantly stepped up their activities following the violation of Polish airspace by Russian drones on September 10th. In addition, a few days ago, a Russian drone entered Romanian territory. In response to the UAV attack, Poland announced the launch of the NATO mission Eastern Sentinel, which involves the deployment of additional ground forces and aircraft. Meanwhile, information has emerged about how many Mirage 2005 F-fighter jets Ukraine could have received. This data was published by Defense Express, based on the annual report of the French Ministry of Defense. It is noted that, as of December last year, the French Air Force had 23 Mirage fighter jets. Previously, there were 28 units. Analysts believe that at the beginning of this year, Ukraine could have received up to 5 fighter jets that were withdrawn from the French Air Force. Polish President Karol Nawrocki supports the deployment of nuclear weapons in his country. He stated this in an interview with the French channel LCI. When asked by a journalist whether he hopes that French nuclear weapons will be stationed in Poland, the Polish leader answered affirmatively. He stated,
"As the President of the Republic of Poland, I believe that Poland should participate in nuclear sharing. It is imperative that the nation should develop and maintain its very own nuclear energy, civilian and military capabilities. The partnership between Poland and France is based precisely on this."
Nawrocki emphasized that he wants to do everything to ensure security guarantees for Poland and believes that his country should participate in nuclear sharing. Such statements by the President of Poland come against the backdrop of nuclear weapons being deployed in neighboring Belarus. Just recently, they boasted that during the joint West 2025 exercises with Russia, they practiced the deployment of the Oreshnik missile system. As is known, it is capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Earlier, Karol Nawrocki signed a decision allowing foreign armed forces to remain on Polish territory. This concerns the NATO Operation Eastern Shield. This happened after, on September 10th, Russian drones violated Polish airspace. A total of 21 drones were recorded. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump sent a letter to Karol Nawrocki. According to RMF 24, the document was sent to Warsaw through the Polish embassy in Washington. The contents of the letter are still unknown. It should be noted that after the Russian drone attack on Poland, Trump and Nawrocki had a phone conversation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in an interview with Sky News that with its missile strikes on Ukraine, Russia is making it clear that it does not want peace.
That they want the war to continue, and that is precisely why they are postponing these meetings regarding decisions and a ceasefire. In any case, this is not a ceasefire.
Zelensky noted that he is ready to meet with Trump and Putin without any preconditions, but he is not willing to travel to Moscow for such a meeting.
Russia attacked us. I cannot go to a country when that country, that city, is attacking us. It can't be like that, to travel to their capital under missile fire. After all, we can meet in any other country.
At the same time, Zelensky stated that Russian occupation forces are preparing for 2 more offensive operations this fall.
In my opinion. In my view, we acted very promptly and completely disrupted 2 offensive operations. As for the third one, I think, to be honest, in a day or two we'll see that they have suffered heavy losses and that nothing worked out for them. But I need another day or two before I can say this publicly.
According to Zelensky, things went even worse for the Russian invaders than they had expected. The president of Ukraine suggested that Poland would not be able to save people if they were subjected to a massive air attack.
They are not at war, so it's understandable that they are not prepared for such things. But even if you compare 810 and we shot down more than 700, while they had, I think, 19 drones and shot down 4. They didn't have missiles flying at them, and there were no ballistic attacks. And of course, they won't be able to save people if they face a massive attack.
Zelensky added that Ukraine can train and instruct military personnel from other partner countries, since they have been very helpful since the very beginning of the war. Meanwhile, it has become known that the administration of US President Donald Trump approved the first package of military aid to Ukraine, which was paid for by NATO. This was reported by Reuters. This will be the first use of a new mechanism developed by the US and its allies to supply Ukraine with US weapons and supplies funded by NATO countries.
Russia is withdrawing its troops from Belarusian territory after the Russian-Belarusian military exercises Zapad 2025. This was stated at a briefing by the representative of the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine, Andriy Demchenko. He noted that the exercises ended on September 16th, and now there is a withdrawal of Russian forces from Belarusian territory.
Now that the most active phase has concluded, they are currently in the process of preparing their departure towards Russian territory. It is our sincere hope that they will indeed continue to proceed in that specific direction, and that there will not be any other unforeseen developments that could potentially threaten the security of our country.
According to him, the number of Russian forces involved in the exercises on the territory of Belarus this year was insignificant. Nevertheless, despite this, Ukrainian intelligence units, the Ministry of Defense, and the State Border Guard Service continue to monitor how the situation is developing in Belarus after the exercises have ended. Demchenko noted that this direction will continue to pose a threat as long as Belarus does not stop supporting the aggressor country, Russia. According to the representative of the Border Service, there were no provocations during the exercises.
We were thoroughly prepared for a wide variety of potential situations, including the possibility of deliberate provocations occurring at our national border, as well as sophisticated information-based attacks. But if we speak specifically about the direction of the border with Ukraine from the territory of Belarus, no particular threats to our country have been observed.
Against the backdrop of the Russian-Belarusian military exercises, European countries have strengthened their defenses. For example, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia have partially closed their airspace. In addition, Poland has completely closed the Polish-Belarusian border. And NATO has launched Operation Eastern Shield to strengthen the defense of Eastern Europe, which involves the deployment of additional ground forces and aviation. Ramzan Kadyrov reacted sharply to the positive remarks made by the legendary singer Alla Pugacheva about Dzhokhar Dudayev. He urged people not to provoke Chechens, saying that enemies of the people like Pugacheva should not be reflecting on the history of the Chechen people, Kadyrov stated. On September 10th, a 3-hour interview with Alla Pugacheva by journalist Ekaterina Gordeva was released on YouTube, in which the singer mentioned, among other things, the First Chechen War.
The First Chechen War especially stuck in my memory because I knew Dzhokhar Dudayev. He was such a decent, honorable, cultured person, a handsome man.
The prima donna also recalled Dzhokhar Dudayev's wife, Alla Dudayeva, who is an artist, writer, and politician.
She called me as if she thought I could somehow help. But what could I have done to help? Nothing. I couldn't do anything to keep Dzhokhar alive.
In the 1990s, Dzhokhar Dudayev was the leader and first president of the self-proclaimed Chechen Republic of Ichkeria. He was killed by a Russian missile in April 1996. Ramzan Kadyrov himself has health problems. Back in 2024, the publication Novaya Gazeta Europe reported that Kadyrov had been suffering for more than 5 years from a disease, pancreatic necrosis. In February 2025, he had another crisis. After that, he had a nephrostomy placed. On May 6 of the same year, Kadyrov stated that he had asked the Russian dictator Vladimir Putin to dismiss him from his post, but he remained in charge of Chechnya. Kadyrov's negative remarks about Pugacheva may be related to the fact that, after just one interview, the prima donna became more popular than dictator Vladimir Putin. The YouTube channel Popular Politics drew attention to this.
Alla Pugacheva's interview with Ekaterina Gordeva on YouTube garnered almost 18 million views in just a few days. That's twice as many as Putin's historical lecture to Tucker Carlson, which was published on the Kremlin's channel. This masterpiece has gained 7.5 million views in over a year.
It should be noted that after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Alla Pugacheva left the country with her family. The conversation with Ekaterina Gordeva was the singer's first major interview since the start of the war.